Alex, over here. Third fight here at Madison Square Garden. I'm curious, is it still special to you as the first time, or is this now just another fight week for you here in New York City?
No, it's a very special place. It's still the place that I made my UFC debut, where I became a champion. So now, fighting for the belt here is something really important to me too.
Do you now have fight week down, like perfectly here in New York, Madison Square Garden? You know, same hotel, same routine, meeting, everything. Now that this is just old habit for you here in New York.
No, everything's atmosphere here is important to me. Like I mentioned before, I made my debut here, was a champion here, so it's great importance.
And you're obviously fighting Jiri Prochazka. I'm curious, as someone who obviously you come from a striking background, us as media and then fans, they view Jiri as this wild, unorthodox, chaotic fighter. So I'm curious, when you watch tape on him and study him, is he as unorthodox and chaotic as we think, or is there like a method to his madness that you see in there?
Well, definitely a hard opponent, unpredictable, yes, but all the experience that I have on striking and kickboxing, I'm going to be using all that on the day of the fight.
What was going through your mind when you watched this fight against Glover? Obviously, you were in Glover's team, but a lot of people think that's one of the best, if not the best, title fights in UFC history and just how it all played out. So I'm curious, just watching it, what was going through your mind?
No, it was definitely a hard fight. You know, Glover was winning that fight until the moment that he got submitted. So Glover have all this experience, and it's very important to me because regardless, you know what I mean, I'm not going to use that as a result or think that this fight is going to be easy because Glover already fought him. But Glover, with all the experience that he have, he already helped me regardless whether for this fight or for the previous fight, he plays a big part on it.
And it seems, just looking at the rest of the year, as soon as this fight was announced, this fight seemed to be the one most fans were most excited for. You know, we had John Stipe, we have the title fight in December, but it seems you and Jiri was the fight that fans in general circled as must watch. So do you get the sense that, or has that reached you, just the magnitude of the fans and excitement level for this fight?
No, definitely, man. I know how important is this fight, especially now it's a title fight, so it's a big responsibility. So I know everybody's pumped for the fight, and I think regardless the main event got pulled out or not, but I think if the fans had the options to get a refund, I don't think they did because everybody want to watch this fight.
What did it mean to be inducted into the Glory Kickboxing Hall of Fame?
No, definitely, man. It's very important. It's something that means a lot to me. To get there is something really hard, right? It's not for everybody, but also that helps me to show to people that that is possible. That through hard work, if you really want, you can get there. So I'm using that to motivate people.
And final one for me, obviously there was some video clips of you sparring with Dylan Dennis before his fight against Logan Paul. I'm curious, what was it like training with him, and do you think the UFC should sign him? Because he seems pretty adamant that he wants to be in the UFC.
No, I trained him. We did 2 nice sessions, one before the Blachowicz fight, which was a MMA training, and another one for this fight that he was having with Logan. You know, first we did the MMA session. I could see that he's a very talented kid. We had 2 nice sessions. He's a great guy, and the fact that he's actually in negotiations with the UFC or trying to get in, I think is awesome, and I'm very pumped for you. I root for him.
Alex, obviously Jiri's style is so reckless and sort of untechnical. Do you think that makes it easier for you as a technical striker to find the opening for your great punches, or do you think it'll take you a while to work out because he's so unconventional?
Well, he seems to fight on a fight style that's kind of hard to understand at first, but I've been training hard. I have my weapons, and I'm going to show that on the fight.
Some fans have been very excited by the fact that this is almost your indigenous heritage versus his samurai obsession. I'm curious if you've seen that and if you find that exciting.
No, man, definitely, and keeps me sharper, keeps me more aware. The guy is focused, he's not joking around, he's a warrior, so that keeps me alive, that gets me sharper for this.
Last one from me, were you surprised how easy it was to prank Daniel Cormier?
Man, it was fun because, you know, at first he didn't want to do it, I had to convince him, but when he looked forward, you know what I mean, obviously I was never going to swing the golf club on him, but I saw that on a video on Instagram earlier in the day, so I did that to him. It was really fun.
Alex, over here to your left. Last year, same place, same weekend, you were a pretty big underdog against Israel Adesanya, knocked him, or TKO victory at the Garden. Just kind of curious, a year later now, you're a pretty decent-sized favorite in a light heavyweight title. Like, how's it feel to be in this spot and get the respect of the odds makers just a year later?
Yeah, man, but I'm going to be honest with you, this thing about being favored or not, you know, doesn't play nothing in my mind because I got to stay sharp regardless. I cannot just think that, okay, I'm the favorite, so it's going to be an easier fight or anything like that. No, man. I'm come here prepared for a war, for whatever happens.
Alex, just over here. You have an opportunity to capture 2 UFC belts. What does this opportunity mean to you and your legacy?
No, definitely means a lot to me. You know what I mean? I did that on kickboxing, so now I'm trying to get this in here, and this means a lot not for me, but means a lot to be able to, you know what I mean, motivate my people to see that they can believe that it happens, and also to motivate the ones that don't believe, the ones that don't think it's possible, to show that it's possible.
And you predicted Sean Strickland winning the title. You were quite vocal about how you thought he would do against Israel Adesanya. I'm just curious, Sean Strickland is going to be defending his title for the first time against Dricus du Plessis. How do you think that fight goes down?
I didn't stop to really analyze the fight, to really look into it, but I really believe that it's going to be really hard for Dricus du Plessis to defeat Sean Strickland.
Thank you.
Over here. The major storyline going into this fight is, of course, avenging Glover Teixeira's defeat to Jiri. What advice did he give you to essentially put that in the back burner, put that in the back of your mind, and not fight to avenge him, but fight to be a world champion again in another weight class?
Nah, man, I'm going focused on this fight to fight for the title. It's really sad what happened with Glover to lose the fight, but I got to stay grounded and focusing on this. Glover is my friend, but I'm going there to fight for the belts.
You get past Jiri, who would you want to fight, or who's on your radar that you would want to defend the title against first?
I sincerely do not have plans. I'm really focused on this fight. After this fight happens, we'll see what happens.
Cool. Thank you.
So one quick question for you is, are you ever planning on going back to middleweight ever again, win or lose after this one?
No, I don't think so. Like I mentioned before, I did have plans for middleweight, but you know, I fought a lot at that weight class and taking a toll on my body, so I feel good on this weight class.
Shama.